Hello, Jack. So good to see
Yes,
you. So good
I'm
to see you.
Jack.
Ni hao.
Yes, ni hao, ni hao. Please, facilitator, help me open my video. I cannot open my video. Yeah. So, Sylviane, this is great to see you again, and I'm so pleased to introduce you to everybody. And actually, Sylviane is my teacher, is my mentor during my EMCC journey. So, the Professor Sylviane Cannio, who is the chairman of Global Organizational Tacit Knowledge Management think tank, the chief learning officer of Mentor Call, the EMCC master practitioner in mentoring and supervision, ICF master certified coach. And in 2021, Sylviane is still the only master certificate coach ICF in the French speaking zone to be also accredited master practitioner by the EMCC and accredited coach ESIA by the EMCC as well. A pioneer of coaching in Belgium, a trusted mentor and a supervisor for leaders and for their coaches individually and in teams. For leaders, Sylviane is a powerful and courageous coach, with a sharp eye on strategy, business at large in the global world, and a deep experience of human interpersonal relationships. For coaches and mentors, Sylviane is mainly a caring and trustful supervisor and mentor. She offers a wonderful space to support your practice individually or in teams. She's part of the first EMCC training for team coach supervisors. Sylviane also offers EMCC journeys, being a EMCC coach since 2009 and knowing how to become a masterful coach, as she is also a master practitioner EMCC. She knows how to bridge the two associations and successfully compile with their respective requirements. So today we are so privileged to have Sylviane give us the lecture, Why Do We Need Global Organizational Tacit Knowledge Management? Thank you, Sylviane. It's your turn.
Oh, Jack, with such a presentation. I'm really, really honored to be with you today, my friend, because it's really, it's so good to be in China. And let me tell you, I'll come back very soon. We were together in 2019 before the pandemic. And I'm so happy that China opens again so that we can travel again and I can welcome you here in Brussels and I can come to Shanghai or anywhere else in China. You know that my first travel in China was in '82. Can you imagine? Hong Kong was at the time 82.
Whoa.
And my second travel was in '88. And then I came back several times, but I knew China without cars. I knew Beijing with bikes only. Can you imagine?
Whoa, I cannot imagine. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person,
yes,
in the
absolutely.
near future.
Yeah, and Jack, it was such a pleasure to welcome you in the cohort, in the ACSM class, because you are one of our champions, so it's okay. And I see that Michael, so it's on board. It's a pleasure to be with you. I feel completely at home, really. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
Let me share my screen. Thank you. It's really a pleasure. Let me share my screen with the PowerPoint presentation so that everybody can follow at a good rhythm. Okay. And I'm open to questions anytime. So please feel free to come with your questions if you need. We have some time for question time at the end. So if you want to raise your hand, feel free to do so. All right. So my question today is, why do we need GO-TKM? We created GO-TKM last month. It's a baby, but it's a fast growing baby. And I'm going to show you why it is necessary. So you introduced me so well, Jack, that I have little to say. That yes, I've been training, I have lecturing in strategic management, in international business and corporate communication in 3 different universities, both Belgium and UK, and I've done that for 17 years. And at a certain moment, my students were asking the same question at the same time, and I said, I think it's time for me to retire and to shift to another passion of mine, which is mentoring and coaching. So, you know, you said, Jack, I'm a bridger between the ICF. You just heard the presentation of its president, Catherine Tano, and the EMCC, and you'll have the president of EMCC later on in the day. That is Dr. Riza Kadila, who will join us later on. And me, I've been bridging those 2 associations for a long time because I think that the professions are fully complementary. So now, and I'm going to show you that how to, we need those professions to manage the tacit management and its transference to transmission to other generations. Okay. So you said it, I'm not going to come back on my bio, you have it. I've been a consultant for years to WHO, to the UN, to the European Union, and numerous private organizations. It's fun now to show my books, you know, because it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting now. So voila, and it's still continuing because we have 2 books that will come up in 2023, and I'm an international keynote speaker. All right, so what is the agenda for today? Let me give you the landscape about tacit knowledge management, and I like to compare Europe with China. And then I'm going to explain you what made the genesis of that non-for-profit organization called GO-TKM. The why, you know, in the business, in an organization, that is most important to know why you exist and why you are there. So what you're doing, what and how you do it. And then we'll look at the next step. All right. So if you look those pyramids of age, up you have Europe, down you have China. You know that worldwide, about 1 billion people, and I'm not exaggerating, will leave their jobs in the coming 2 to 3 years, because either they shift internally to another function, or they move to another company, another institution, or they retire, or unfortunately they pass away. So there are 4 conditions, and also more and more people have long-term diseases. Unfortunately, I have to name cancer, but also burnout. So this means that many people will shift from their function, and most of the time they will leave their tacit knowledge behind them without having organized a proper transmission. Now, if you look at those pyramids of age, you see that there is a big gap here between the big generation. There were a lot of baby boomers in Europe. There were a lot of babies born in the period between the 50s and the late 70s, the 70s, in fact. But look here, the pyramid of age, both for male and female, is shrinking both sides. And if you take the projections, you know, it's even more shrinking. So it creates 2 problems. I mean, who is going to pay for the pensions? But like, it will be the government to take care of that. And I know that in China, you will have the same channels, the same challenge in about 30, 40 years. In Europe, it will be coming into 20 years. We'll have to pay very much attention to that. But the second major challenge, and how are those baby boomers, the ones who were born here in the 50, 60, when they retire, because the big pack will retire now. They are retiring already now, and they will continue in the next 10 years to retire. How are they going? How are the organizations going to retain all their management, all the tacit knowledge, in fact? How are they going to manage? And you see, dear friends, we come at the right moment to speak about tacit knowledge management, because it's really a challenge of today. In China, you are lucky to have lots of people now in between 20 and the 50s. The point is that next challenge, when those people here, less than 20 years old, will grow, how will they benefit from the tacit knowledge that the elder one will keep with them, and especially when they leave? But also one thing I noticed in China, there is a big job mobility. People love to change work. And in fact, this is also a challenge for the corporations, because you train your people and then those people go away. How you keep the value that it is generated. So we need to transfer massively and fast that tacit knowledge. Official knowledge, it's easy. You just organize training. It's all what is beyond, just beyond the sea level. All what we do not know. It's the experience. I have a story for you, but first let me just explain one thing, is that the value of your institution is made of two major components: the tangible assets on the one side and the intangible assets on the other side. So in the tangible assets, of course, you have your premises, your workshops, your factories, I mean, the concrete, the buildings, but also in that element, I would put your cars, your trucks, your machinery, and then comes your working tools. And of course, trucks, machinery are there, but also what you need in terms of technology, the robots, your computer, everything is there. And then in the tangible assets, you have the cash, what you have on your bank account. You know, these are tangible because you can touch it. But the other side is the intangible assets. And there are three elements. The patent, when you create a company, or it's usually because you have a concept, you have a beautiful idea, and of course you will patent it. Or you will create copyright. If you make books, if you have manuals, you have to copyright them. So you register with the copyright, you have your patents, excellent. Then the second intangible element is the value of your reputation, your brand awareness. How is your brand known in the world? And you have beautiful, when you have the Huawei, you have, you know, beautiful. You know that in Belgium now, the airport near Liège, that is near Belgium, is trusted by Chinese companies. We have a lot of Chinese in the port of Antwerp here. China really has the strategy of getting into the infrastructure in Europe. So you have, that reputation is gold, not only your technology, is what you bring in terms of your people. And it makes me go to the third component of intangible asset. It is what your people have, not only in their brain, but in their hands, in terms of knowledge, you know, that capacity to use the hands, but also in the guts. And now let me tell you that story. I have a dear friend recently. He came from an American company, and he wanted to have some change management meeting with his team. He has a large team. And he was thinking about bringing the same methodology in his team. And a former colleague of his come and said, let me call him John. John, don't do that. Because if you imprint those American methodology into your company, and your company is a state-owned company, it's a public company. If you take the same methodology from American company and you pluck it, you really pluck it to your structure and to your people, being used to a certain way of being used to a certain culture, it will never work. You will generate resistance. So John listened to his former colleague and said, oh, that's very good advice. That is tacit knowledge management. That is tacit knowledge transfer. The point is that it was easy because it was two people. It was through mentoring that they could do that, you see? So let's keep in mind the value of the institution is made of tangible, intangible assets. We have the challenge having to transmit everything to the next. So this led us, Fisher, the team, but also the beautiful people that compose already GO-TKM, to envisage the creation of the non-for-profit. And in fact, the non-for-profit organization was there to create that research on management, because so far there is a lot of knowledge management, say official knowledge management, very little on tacit knowledge management. And this is why we decided it was time to create the structure. And also we wanted to create a think tank to put together all our research, because a lot of research starts to be in the existing in the world, but the point is that it is disseminated in different countries, and there is very little synergies between them. So it was the idea to create a think tank to synergize all those research and to put it in a think tank. It's a pot of thinking of people put together inside an organization. So the organization is there for three main objectives. The first is to advise and support government policymakers for the right policy on TKM in their respective countries. That is one objective. The second objective is to advise and support business decision makers, that is you, for right solution in your respective TKM issues inside your organization. So for us, we are so happy that you are there on board for this first forum, so that we can envisage together the best means for that transfer of tacit knowledge. And of course, to unify global resources for research and development in theory and practice on TKM in industries, and provide, of course, we are going to provide possible solutions. All right. So, two initiatives was launched in 2022 to promote TKM worldwide, and I'd like to really thank Mentoring Co, especially Fisher, Sunshine, Ming, for the Fisher and Sunshine did a wonderful job in 22, and the team. So they made two initiatives. Remember that GO-TKM was not existing. GO-TKM was born on 10th of November now, just about one big month ago. So first, they decided to educate the public on TKM importance and share solutions in practice. Therefore, they invited 50 TKM experts worldwide and broadcasted the webinars globally in English and Chinese. So those webinars are available. You just go on the gotkm.org website and you have all the webinars that you can, it's free. You just click and you have them, and you can watch them. And our purpose is really to disseminate the knowledge about tacit knowledge management. And the second initiative was to create the GO-TKM as a non-for-profit organization. The purpose is not to make money. The purpose is to disseminate the research, to synergize the research, and to create solutions for that tacit knowledge management. And we have already over 30 experienced experts from 5 continents and joining us, and the GO-TKM structure is open. So I told you that we would be speaking about the why. So the why, the rationale behind GO-TKM is really to make sure, and that's a vision that we have that tacit management, and we help to disseminate it in the humanity. So it's a question of nourishing mankind globally, across border, because knowledge, like the internet today, is a speed of light going from one side to the other one. So we disseminate. And wealth is made of knowledge. Remember the intangible assets. So it's important that we disseminate that knowledge. And our purpose just is to promote that culture on an individual, community, organization, national, and global level, to encourage learning from other people's valuable experience. Your experience is gold, how to transmit it to the next generation. And so it will benefit generations and generations. We cross fingers that it occurs that way. And of course, to accelerate global synergies on research and development, as I was telling you, and provide reliable solutions. So the what, we do 3 things. We save the tacit knowledge for the next. We conduct policy-relevant research on TKM, and you have received an invitation to answer to to the, you have received an invitation to answer to there is a research that we make, you know, and you are really invited to answer to that research, because what we need is data. And altogether, the more we have data, the more we can spread the result of our research. Okay, so we conduct those policy relevant research on TKM so that we can influence policymakers on various governments and business leaders on TKM. And we provide solutions, as I told you. Okay, so now, what about GO-TKM? GO-TKM is located here in Brussels. So I don't know if you had the opportunity to visit Brussels. I didn't see too many Chinese, unfortunately, for 3 years, but I know that you will come back. And it's easy to recognize you because you are there in groups. And again, you are more welcome to visit us and visit our premises. We chose to be located in this building. Why? Because this building is only 500 meters from the Royal Palace, about 1 kilometer from the Belgian Parliament, but less than 1.5 kilometers from the European Commission, and about 1 good kilometer from the European Parliament. So we are really central. You really imagine Shanghai in the center, or Beijing in the center. We are just near Tiananmen. So this is really the center of the city, and that's it. So in the GO-TKM already, we have a good number of people who join us, and really it is open. If you feel like that you can join the team because you can bring research or your experience, please join us. We have already professors, consultants, managers, researchers, and the team is growing very fast. And I guess that after this forum, it will boom, in fact, in terms of registration. And again, you are most welcome. And we have, for the moment, the 30 people we have on board come from Australia, Belgium, China, England, Germany, Israel, Norway, Singapore, South Africa, Sweden, the Netherlands, and many more today and to come. So again, if you want to join us, please feel free. So, okay, now, the next step. The next step, it is important to, of course, expand the team of searchers, because we really want a global presence, and we want China on board. If you come from different cities, from different type of corporations, you are welcome. But also it will be, our second point will be to streamline our research. It would be foolish on us to be disseminated too much research. We are going to select a few pillars of our research so that we can focus our resources on it. Then we have a monthly call. It's on Zoom. You know how to use Zoom. It's very easy. And so we keep you informed with the status of action. And then, you know, I like to write books. So I'm inviting the first of the 30, and we'll select, and we'll see who wants to be writing a chapter together with us so that we can write a book, a collective book that will appear in Chinese and in English, of course. And by the way, let me tell you how proud I am, because a book of ours will be published not on TKM, but on mentoring with the coaching attitude. It will be by Fisher Yu, Cicero Carvalho, and myself, and with 20 guests who are writing their chapters. And what we did for mentoring with the coach attitude, we'll do exactly the same with the tacit knowledge management, because it's not difficult to write a book, provided that you split the work with several people. So you need a good leader, of course, and you need an animation of the team, and then you need people who have the knack at writing with enthusiasm, and especially to transfer the knowledge. And then I know we'll see you again. It will be in Davos. We hope to make it in person, and I know that Fisher will be traveling very soon in January to Switzerland to organize the next forum, and we'll see each other in person. And I cross my fingers that we can see each other in person in Hainan next year, in fact. And I promise you, I'll be there too, because I want to touch you now. I want to see you. I want to hug you. I want to salute you. I want to shake hands with you. So I want to be there in presence. And I would like to express again my deepest thanks for the Hainan Talent Group for supporting us, to SDIC to be with us for mentoring, for co-organizing. They are top people. So now I'm open to your questions. If you raise your hands, let me stop sharing my screen, and please come up if you want to raise your question. And I think we still have a few minutes. Jack, am I correct?
Right. We still have
Okay.
5 minutes. So
Perhaps
anyone has questions, this is a golden chance to ask Professor Sylviane. Right.
And perhaps you have
Actually,
the first one, Jack.
yeah. You know, I think this is a great. I heard the tacit knowledge actually is one of the most important intangible assets, right?
Yes.
So,
look at the chat box. We have a question.
Yes,
Let me
please
read
please.
it. So the topic, TKM, what is needed for multinational companies in China in the next few years? All right. Thank you for the question. In fact, you need to streamline your leadership. That's the first thing. You have to detect where is the tacit management. Who are the key people who possess that tacit management? But it's important not to go on the top level of the company, is to go everywhere, because tacit knowledge is down in the workshop also. On the website, we have taken a story when you have a mechanic who is there to rescue a boat, they have a breakdown, and he comes with just a simple hammer, and he knows exactly where to push the hammer. So he just charged $1,000, $2 for the hammer and the fact that he's there, but $998 for knowing where to put the hammer on the engine. That's the tacit knowledge. So the first thing is how to detect. I think it's important that you have a small think tank, or big think tank if you prefer, in your corporations, so that you can have it, and not only in China, make it worldwide, because China has knowledge, but in the rest of the world, it's important to put together in the knowledge in the pot, and to have the think tank, a steering group, to know first how to detect it. So I know this is the purpose of this forum, but to detect, to measure, and then to organize a transformation. And I think one of the key for me is mentoring, but mentoring with a coaching attitude, because, Jack, you have been trained as mentor. And, to be a mentor is usually, in the traditional way of mentoring, is, I know you don't know. Let me teach you. Let me show you how it works. What did you discover, Jack, through that mentoring, to that coaching attitude? It's another attitude, correct?
Yeah.
Is the fact that me as a mentor with the coach attitude, I ask you questions. My question to you is, what do you know already? What have you got already in your belly? You remember that we made exercises. We made several demos.
Right.
What was your main learning, Jack, if you remember?
It's a Johari window. So we need to make sure I know, right? Maximize this area. And we define what is the area you don't know, I don't know. Then we co-create this part, make sure become from a tacit knowledge to our really tangible assets, I would say.
Dear participant, I just generated in Jack the answer I wouldn't be able to give myself. He came with the Johari window, which is one of the models. I didn't think about it. And so, though I'm mentoring, and I would say, Jack, what is the question that I need to ask you to generate your answer? And this is what I just did. This is a mini demo that we just made. Through my questioning, I encourage Jack to display what he knows already. And I know, Jack, that you know a lot. So when we transfer that tacit knowledge, is first to ask the people what do they know already, because it's not with your mental that you answered, Jack. What was triggered in you to my question?
I think you are just to play as a middle wife, help me deliver my baby.
Wonderful. But I raise your energy. I help you raise your energy. your pride to be showing your knowledge also, and I really applaud that. You see, do you feel that your energy is higher?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. So it's how us who have more experience can trust the person in front of us because they know already a lot. And that's one of the keys in tacit knowledge transfer.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much, Professor Sylviane.
My pleasure.
Yes, as a chairman of GO-TKM, you just let us know the mission, the purpose for this organization, which is to save tacit knowledge for next generation, to conduct the research, to provide a business-related solution. This is wonderful. And I hope we can meet in person in 2023.
Done.
And keep my finger crossed. Done. Thank you so much, Sylviane.
I stay with you for the rest of the day, and I'll be there tomorrow. So bump into me in case you have questions or how I can participate. Yeah. Okay?
Thank you.
And again, thanks everybody, and congratulations. Bye for now.
Thank you.